Hey everybody, welcome back to the Thinking Crypto channel, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. Well, my friends, it was a drama-filled day on crypto Twitter. My goodness, I have a lot to break down for you guys. Ripple's co-founder, Chris Larson, tweeted out some thoughts about how Bitcoin can move away from proof of work. And boy, did it start a massive, massive conversation. Of course, Bitcoin maximalists going crazy, but here's what I want to talk about, guys. I think Chris's approach was wrong. And I want to share my thoughts. And we have people in Congress weighing in on this and a bunch of other stuff happening. And even Coindesk all of a sudden put out an article explaining what Ripple and XRP is. The timing is pretty interesting. And also MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, they just did something big with Bitcoin with a loan worth over $205 million. I want to break that down. And there was a major Ethereum hack that I want to share with you guys. So we're going to talk about that and much more, some other huge crypto regulation news as well. Before we get there, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment below, and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. It helps support the channel and it doesn't cost you anything. If you're listening on a podcast site, please give me a 5-star rating. Guys, heads up, I uploaded my interview with JW Verrett earlier today, who is part of the SEC Advisory Committee. And we talk about the SEC and Ripple and Bitcoin spot ETFs and Gary Gensler. And guys, JW had conversations with Jay Clayton, former chairman of the SEC, about ICOs, about the lawsuit, and so forth. So he has some great perspective. I highly recommend you watch his interview. I'll put a link in the description. Now, quick word from our sponsor, and that is TaxBit. TaxBit is the leading tax service provider in the crypto industry. It is a service I've been using for years, and I use this respective tax season to calculate my crypto gains and losses. It is a great platform. It is great to use, or easy to use, I should say. You just simply connect your exchanges and your exchange accounts, and it pulls the data out, spits out the tax forms for you. Makes it so easy, guys. And TaxBit's technology is actually being used by major exchanges already. So I highly recommend this platform. And I have a year-round account where at any point I can see my tax liability, so to speak, and what I may potentially owe the IRS from my crypto trade. So if you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. All right, let's look at the market cap here. Things have cooled down a little bit since Bitcoin has been pumping over the past few days. Currently, Bitcoin is at $159. It changed on me as I'm speaking. Ethereum at $3,372. They're looking pretty strong. Alts are kind of moving sideways. Some are, doing better than others. Like Luna, of course, is doing great. Solana and so forth. And I've been swing trading Solana and Avalanche a lot because they've had some great price movements. So I've made some nice profits. And when I say nice profits, I'm not talking like I made $50,000 in a week or something. I'm using, kind of play money here. So I'll make like $1,000 in a week or $500 a week, just depending on the swing trade. Because I'm making sure that I'm risk averse and I'm not putting money that I can't afford to lose. And of course, you use stop losses and things like that. But I'm making some nice profits, guys. And I know I owe you all a swing trade video. So that is coming soon. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin weekly chart here, we see that so far for this week, we got a weak green candle forming. I hope it doesn't correct and go down, but it could potentially go down a little bit because nothing goes up in a straight line. Nevertheless, I think Bitcoin is certainly on track to its retracement to 55, 58K. And I've talked about my plans for that respective price point. And we'll see if, the lengthening cycles theory is playing out as well. And later this year, Bitcoin goes to higher prices. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now, my goodness, guys, this is a lot to unload. So I'm going to talk about it and read through the tweets and so forth. Ripple's co-founder, Chris Larson, tweeted out some stuff about Bitcoin moving away from proof of work because it's using a lot of energy. And Chris is an ESG advocate and, promoting clean energy and so forth. And I get that. That's his right. He can absolutely do that. Many people believe in that. Hell, I believe in it as well, that we need to make sure that we're using clean energy and we're taking care of the environment and the world we live in. Absolutely. And I'm going to talk about my perspective on all the things he had to say. So he tweeted out last year, I published an op-ed calling for Bitcoin to consider a move away from proof of work to a low energy validation method. Today, I'd like to share an update on how my thinking has evolved on this front. He said, while I still believe moving to a low energy consensus mechanism is the most climate friendly long-term solution, I recognize it's no easy feat. Today, the US holds approximately 40% of the hash rate. Climate conscious miners like Gryphon Mining, Argo Blockchain, and Riot Blockchain strive to use 100% renewables and be responsible actors, shutting off power when grids are overloaded, etc. I applaud their efforts. On the other hand, plenty of miners are repurposing old coal and gas plants and not being responsible stewards of the amount of power they're increasingly using, jacking up energy bills for residents, sucking power from the grid regardless of overload. This is unacceptable. He said, the time for change is now as prominent capital market participants drive crypto liquidity. ESG and sustainability will only become more front and center. ETH or Ethereum, second largest market cap for now, recognized this early on and is now close to switching to proof of stake. We need short-term solutions as well. Even if a move away from proof of work happened eventually, Bitcoin is and will remain hugely important for crypto globally. Bitcoiners, I know many of you may not like or may not believe this, but I'm not trying to work against you here. Today's crypto industry is blessed with incredible talent, unlimited capital, and is on a mission to make the world better. I truly believe it can turn this climate problem into a solution. What if miners were incentivized to remove carbon from the atmosphere? He says miners pledging 100% green energy use is a great start, but in my opinion, not a foolproof long-term solution because proof of work simply incentivizes finding the cheapest energy, not what is the right thing to do. What's to stop a petrostate like Russia from liquidating fossil fuel reserves? He says here, so even with responsible players, there will always be an incentive to seek out the greatest amount of the cheapest power if renewables are prioritized / wanted and fossil fuels are not, could suddenly turn the latter into a subsidized cheap energy source. He said, if you've read so far, thanks. If you've read this so far, thanks. I've spent 1.5 years thinking about possible solutions and invested nearly $90 million into climate change fighting efforts, everything from green hydrogen, EVs, and carbon capture. Lastly, I want to emphasize that these efforts are mine alone while I'm still chairman of Ripple. The company is not involved in this campaign. On that note, apologies to the Ripple comms team. So, want to make sure everything that he just said, he's not taking the stance from a Ripple standpoint. It's a personal thing for him. So, here's the problem though. You're still the co-founder and chairman of Ripple, and you're still an XRP holder. And Ripple, of course, would have a competitive advantage if Bitcoin was eliminated and moved out of the way. Now, that may not be Chris's motive, but optics, my friends. And this is why I tweeted out, I don't agree with Chris's approach here. I understand what he's doing. And once again, I agree with what his initiatives and what he's trying to do. But you, as Chris Larson, being Chris Larson, who's also getting sued by the SEC, and Ripple, a company you've co-founded, is getting sued by the SEC over XRP, cannot go out publicly and do this. I know some XRP maximalists are going to get very angry at me. I support Ripple. I want them to win the lawsuit against the SEC. I hold XRP. It's my #1 holding. But I always got to keep it real with you guys. If it's Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, whoever, David Schwartz, if they do something that is wrong or that doesn't make sense, I will call it out. I'm not here to play favorites. I'm here to be genuine with you guys and have some integrity. So I don't agree with him putting this out here. If you kind of want to do it in private, sure, but attacking Bitcoin in this way, and I shouldn't say attack, but rather criticizing Bitcoin in this way is not a good idea, given that crypto still has a lot of enemies. And we're all on the same side here, right? Chris needs to work with Bitcoiners and many of the folks in the industry. So him putting out this information about Bitcoin can be used by the likes of an Elizabeth Warren and so forth. So I tweeted out, I don't think the approach here was right. I think this is wrong and off target, and it's off the mark. Could he maybe work with Bitcoin miners in more a private way to try to get them to do this? Sure. And I know one of the things is he donated $5 million to some folks who are running a campaign, Greenpeace USA, and they're running the campaign that Bitcoin should change their code to be more energy friendly. So the optics is very bad, and I don't like that he did this. So for example, Coinbase or CoinDesk, excuse me, they covered it here. The Bitcoin community is reacting harshly and incredulously to a planned ad campaign by Ripple co-founder and chairman Chris Larson and Greenpeace USA that would push a code change to reduce the largest cryptocurrency's energy use. So quite a few people started weighing in on this guy. So the problem is too, when they see that, hey, Chris is not just making a suggestion, but he's taking money and putting it behind a campaign. Once again, bad optics if you're a competing company that has an asset to, that could compete and take market share from Bitcoin. And regardless of if you love or hate Bitcoin, right? This is bad optics, and I think this is a bad move on Ripple's part, or I shouldn't say Ripple's, but rather Chris Larson. But obviously, people are not going to make the distinction that this was his personal opinion. They're going to think it's from Ripple, and Ripple will get the brunt of the criticism here. So I tweeted out about this, guys, and of course, some people didn't like it. They're like, "Oh, blah blah blah, Bitcoin's old technology," and yada yada, and ignoring the actual facts of what is happening here. Now, CoinDesk interviewed Bitfarms. I think is it their CEO? No, the chief mining officer about this. And of course, some of the Bitcoin miners had some criticism saying it seems like another play by Ripple to promote their own token. See what I'm talking about, guys? Bad optics. I don't like what Chris Larson did here. Now, Chris did respond to this and said, "This made me laugh out loud. One, Ripple has nothing to do with the campaign. Two, I've said time and time again, my goal for this campaign is for Bitcoin to succeed and find ways Bitcoin can contribute to fight against climate change." Once again, I don't think Chris is coming from a bad place. I think he has good ideas, but wrong place, wrong time, and he's not the person to put that out there. It's better if he had, even if he donated to Greenpeace the $5 million, don't make it public, because the optics look very bad. And I think a lot of people held on to the $5 million he was giving to Greenpeace, saying, okay, so you're selling XRP and you're taking that money and then funding a campaign against Bitcoin. See what I'm talking about, guys? Not a good look. And Ripple has a bigger problem right now with the SEC. I think Chris should be focusing his attention there. So this is just not a good look. And I'm hoping to get an interview with him, because I certainly want to talk about it. And once again, I think we can be professional about it and talk about it, but I don't agree with this. So here's the problem too, guys. Members of Congress are talking about this now. So the last thing Ripple needs is for people in Congress we're trying to get them to change the SEC rules and regulation to go against Ripple. That's not, you see the problem that it's being caused here. So Congressman Warren Davidson, retweeted Chris here saying, in other words, please ban Bitcoin. No, period. So this is turning a bit, toxic in a way. He said, if not in statute with coercion, he said, if you don't see an attack on proof of work as an attack on Bitcoin, you understand neither. It's an attack on the fundamental architecture. Solana offers proof of history as a distinctive alternative. Numerous others offer proof of stake. And then he highlighted Bitcoin's white paper and so forth, so on and so forth. Now, once again, whether right or wrong, Chris Larson created some bad optics here for Ripple. Even Cynthia Lummis weighed in on this. She said, this is a disingenuous play by federal regulatory capture. Don't fall for it. Let them compete with thanks to Plan B for the screenshot. So Plan B screenshotted the article from Bloomberg, which highlighted what Chris Larson's doing with Greenpeace. So, well, I said it, guys. It's just not a smart move by Chris here. I think this is a very bad move. It puts more pressure and creates more problems for Ripple. Once again, if he had continued his donations, like he said, he donated $91 million, whatever, okay, that's fine. But you don't have to come out on crypto Twitter and do that, because a lot of folks are going to take it the wrong way. The optics look very bad. Now, what's funny enough here, guys, today, CoinDesk tweeted out, what is Ripple, an XRP cryptocurrency? And this is an article they put together today here, is updated, and they go through the differences and so forth. And of course, highlighting the lawsuit by the SEC. So it was just interesting timing. And then, they were tweeting about it and things like that. And Susan Friedman from Ripple, in fact, shared some really good thoughts here. She is the head of public policy. She said, while we don't agree with the everything EU policymakers are advocating for, the proposed revision to the transfer of funds regulation being a prime example, they're certainly moving faster to set regulatory guardrails for crypto assets than their US counterparts. So we know the EU is going to be working on some stuff. Well, they already started. We heard about Britain as well. And she's highlighting that they're moving a bit faster than the United States. She says the markets in crypto assets regulation, which creates a harmonized legal framework for crypto assets in the EU, is likely to pass by the end of 2022 and go into force in 2023. By comparison, the US will just be completing the reports called for in the recent Biden executive order. Serious consideration of the legislative proposals that have been put forth in Congress is the best way to ensure the US does not fall behind in the crypto asset space and remains competitive in the EU, as noted in my recent letter to the editor in Financial Times. So she's absolutely right. The US needs to move faster, and hopefully, this crypto executive order situation does move fast. Sometimes things move really slow here in the government, but the other world superpowers and leaders are moving faster right now. All right, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. Michael Saylor, the biggest Bitcoin bull ever. Well, he tweeted out earlier today, MacroStrategy, a subsidiary of MicroStrategy, has closed a $205 million Bitcoin collateralized loan with Silvergate Bank to purchase Bitcoin. Wow, man, this guy, sometimes I get a little bit scared because there's so much money that he's putting in Bitcoin, but look, it's already paying off for him, right? Where the prices have gone. So I think Bitcoin's here to stay and the price will continue to rise, but it's if they can go through the volatilities. And that's the thing of this market, guys, because it can swing low as much as it swings high, it swings low. So more power to him, but I hope he's got his ducks in a row and so forth, because it's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Now, something happened here, guys. There was an Ethereum breach, and it says here there has been a security breach on the Ronin network. The Ronin bridge has exploited for 173,600 Ethereum and 25.5 million USDC. The Ronin bridge and Katana DEX have been halted. This is not good, my friends, and this is what I kept saying for a long time. DeFi 1.0 has its flaws. Doesn't mean DeFi is not here to stay. It just has its flaws, and there's a lot that needs to be fixed. So be careful with your DeFi lending and the respective protocols that you use, guys. All right, last item here. Vietnam, the #1 in crypto adoption according to Chainalysis, to create a legal framework for crypto. The research, spearheaded by Ministry of Finance, is intended to guide upcoming policy. Dominoes falling globally. See what's happening here, my friends? Every week we're hearing news of some countries starting to roll out full crypto regulations, and they're not banning it, and they're not doing anything crazy. They're allowing it to flourish and let innovation grow within their countries, and they have to. I've said it many times. Any country that bans crypto, they're writing their death sentence, the economic death sentence, because this is the future, which will create jobs and a lot of revenue, guys. All right, that's the news. Do you agree with me what I said about Chris Larson and his approach? Once again, I'm not against his opinion and what he has to say. I just believe he shouldn't have done it this way, because now Ripple's going to get the brunt of the hate, and it's going to look, the optics look bad, right? Because of the XRP connection. And honestly, Chris and Ripple should be focused on the SEC lawsuit, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, share this video, and I'll talk to you all later.